New developments tonight in the embezzlement scandal that's rocked Pasadena City Hall.
Some local activists are calling for the city manager to resign. But tonight, Michael Beck tells KCAL 9 he's staying put.
KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan is live in Pasadena with more on Beck's decision not to resign. Dave.
Well, Lena, Sylvia, the money that was taken in this case was money meant to beautify Pasadena neighborhoods by moving overhead electrical lines underground. But millions of dollars disappeared over a period of up to a decade or more. And now city officials, including the city manager, are on the hot seat.
Do you bear some responsibility? I mean, some would say the buck kind of stops with you as the city manager.
As the CEO for the city organization, certainly the buck does stop with me.
On a night when the Pasadena City Council took up the issue of the $6.4 million embezzlement scheme for the second time in a week, I asked city manager Michael Beck how the alleged scheme could have gone undetected for years, perhaps a decade or more, a sign that those who should be watching were asleep at the wheel.
How could this continue for 7 years, 10 years, 11 years, an extended period like this?
And actually, to me, I think that's the more frustrating part of it. What's frustrating and very disappointing to me is the fact that this activity occurred for so long and that it wasn't detected within our organization.
3 people, one of them a former Pasadena municipal employee, are facing criminal charges in the case. 60 counts of embezzlement and other related charges. But politically, the heat is on the city manager, who oversees all city operations. Among those who came to speak to the city council was Jason Hunter from Riverside, where Beck had previously been the assistant city manager. Hunter charges there are a lot of questions about Beck's actions there, too.
And what I'm seeing is the same actors recycling themselves throughout the different communities, going from community to community to community, spreading this very negative culture, which is not servicing the public, and Mr. Beck is one of those.
Some local observers say persistent questions on an unrelated issue by Councilman Terry Tornick actually led to the discovery of the missing millions. Tornick agrees the time frame for the missing city money is astounding.
I think it's incredible. And I'm getting a lot of feedback from voters and people and citizens around town, and there's just the initial reaction is shock and dismay and incredulity, frankly, that this had been going on for so long, and then the next reaction is anger.
Now the number of investigations is multiplying. The mayor announced a new council committee will be probing what happened, and a citizens task force will be investigating as well. Councilman Victor Gordo says it's about time.
There's no question that this was an absolute failure on the part of some staff to detect criminal activity. There's no question that we have to run this completely to ground to see who knew what and when they should have known it, if they didn't know it.
As for the city manager, the question is, should he resign?
Are you considering that?
Right now, I'm not considering that piece. I always evaluate those considerations. Right now, I have to do what's best for the city organization.
Well, like the fund that was looted in this case, Pasadena has about 130 different city funds, all for a variety of purposes. Now, the citizen task force we mentioned may have to look into, as part of its responsibility, whether the money in all those other city funds has disappeared as well. We're live in Pasadena. Dave Bryan, KCAL 9 News.